Street south.
It's street.
So special, bro.
Keep writing.
Keep writing. What do you mean keep writing? What's my
Dang it.
Does it matter which way it goes east?
Yeah, good.
Like, what if we did it from like the top?
You mean if you did east first and then south?
Well, no, like, what if we did like south and then like we put east up here? Would it change anything?
East up here?
No, yeah, but like going east.
Or like this?
Yeah, would it change anything?
Yeah, it would be wrong.
So.
You could do this, that would work,
You heard
but
right.
yeah, it would be different. Okay, so the resultant vector would be this vector when you add those two together. What is the magnitude? How would we find the magnitude? Pythagorean theorem. 6 squared plus 10 squared. It would be like, I'll go ahead and write it down. 6 squared plus 10 squared would equal whatever squared. So it's square root of 136, which does simplify, I believe. That would be 4 times 39, so it would be like 2 square root of 39. Is the magnitude. Okay, how do we find direction? When we're talking about northeast, southwest, where is 0 degrees at? Up. When we're doing like ships or airplanes or whatever direction, northeast, southwest direction, up is 0 degrees. So the direction of this vector would be this angle right here. How far past 0 is it? How are we going to find that angle? Okay, we have a right triangle here. So we can use right triangle trig to figure out what theta is. And what are we going to do with that? 180 minus this angle gives us this angle. Okay, so how am I going to find this angle? Relative to this angle, I have opposite and adjacent. We also have the hypotenuse, but that's kind of a mess. So opposite and adjacent are tangent. So tangent of theta equals opposite over adjacent. So to find theta, we need to do tangent inverse. Anyone plug that in? Hopefully. 59 point what?
Probably about the math.
0. Okay, so is that the answer? No. This is the answer. So these two together should add up to 180, right? So we do 180 minus 59, and that gives us 121. Now the one on the test might be different directions. I didn't really look. East and south. Okay, I guess it's the same. All right. Dos.
Oh, dude. You look so happy right now. You could probably gobble down a dozen gold coins. You got this guy, he's clean. I'm sorry. What? Oh, did they combine it?
No, they combine it. No, it's a literal. It's like steak grease, but I like that from Sebastian.
Okay, what do you guys think 2 means? Find the component form of vector AB.
A 3 squared plus negative
Okay. This A and this B are points
3 minus 2.
on the graph.
Oh my gosh.
So
3 minus.
if we're going,
3 minus 3.
yeah, if we're going from A to B, how far are we moving in the x direction?
2 minus 3.
-1. You could also do 2 minus 3 is -1. But yeah, from 3 to 2, we're going down 1. So the x component is -1. How far are we moving in the y? This one might trick us. How far are we moving in the y direction? From -4 to -1, that's going up 3, so that'd be a +3. Okay, what did this symbol right here mean?
Magnitude.
And how we find the how do we find the magnitude?
Distance.
It means the distance, and how do we find it?
Right, just by square plus square, we go.
Yeah, square plus square is square root of that. So yeah, if we drew this, we don't have to, but if we did draw it, it's like 1 to the left and 3 up, so it looks like this. So to find its length, we basically do Pythagorean theorem. 1 squared plus 3 squared, and the square root of that, which doesn't come out nicely, so it's just square root of 10.
What color should we wear tomorrow, Mr. Jordan?
Green.
That's what we were planning on
Oh.
wearing.
Surely you guys don't have a shirt in every shade that matches.
She doesn't have purple in pink. Go to Google. I have never gone through.
It's okay. My
She is too good for good.
What?
My love.
Why'd you get Rosette Maximus? That was so funny.
Yeah. Except you.
That's why you should wear it.
So like, anyone that doesn't know what it means, you sound like actually
I
like,
don't
like
like
like, you start going,
You don't understand. Well, if I skip my husband.
Also, you.
So if we did, like, if I was going by, like, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would I'm 5. Then I would do 1, 2, 3, 4.
The fact that we understand this.
I skip it right now, like,
Such a
So,
funny grade.
do you know what's nowadays? Do you guys know?
I can't stop thinking that things actually retarded. Like the
All right, here we go. So how do I do 3u plus w? By the way, the book notation and my notation sometimes different. They use bold U to stand for a vector instead of the symbol. So it looks a little bit different. Also, they don't use these symbols, they use parentheses, but these are better. Anyways, what's 3 times vector U? 6, -12. So we need to do 6, -12 plus vector W, 0, -3, and that gives us 6, -15. See, some of these aren't that hard. I just jinxed you guys.
How many problems are there?
Like 13 or something like that.
What about on the test?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. U minus V. So how do we subtract vector V? You gotta subtract both of these. So if it's 2 minus -3, that would be 2 plus 3. So that'd be 5. And then -4 minus 5, -9. Oops. Okay.
Are you all done? Oh. Actually, I can try.
Okay, what do we do with this guy?
5 times -2 plus 3 times 4.
Negative.
-3 times 4.
Yeah, it's called the dot product. The problem doesn't have any directions though, it just shows that. So, yeah, it's what she said. 5 times -2 plus -3 times 4. So that'd be -10 plus -12. -22.
I don't know why Will is a century away.
Hey, the grandmother gave me treats for candy.
Are you all about that base?
Why are you trying?
Dude, it's a lucrative business.
Chicken tenders.
Have you been making money this way?
Ew.
Cheez-Its for like the
Such a hater.
strips,
Cheez-Its
dude.
fire. Oh, she's
That's not even worth.
That's a heck of a deal.
No, that's not. Actually, mine. These are the ones from the spring, like the super silent.
My sister,
The like,
because of virus.
Sounds
So
like
we're
yours.
having, so I gotta wait.
You're beating me out. If that's a good way to phrase it.
We should switch places for
dude,
one day.
it's like there's like a spot in the house that just has a bunch of cheeses. So I can just hand those things out.
Remember when you tried to get me to say your
I have a pack of ramen.
Hold up, do we sound
Let's
alike?
rinse provisions.
Just make like a sack of
And,
ramen.
Also, my voice is.
How do you not remember?
Also,
Show me how to do it.
Okay,
No, that's a man voice.
Also, my voice is.
so on this one, a boat is on a course of 220 degrees going 40 knots. What are the north, south, east, west components? So north, south is basically the y component, right? East, west is like the x component.
Okay.
What would this picture look like? Yeah, we'll just go black.
Looks like-
Where's 220 at?
Isn't it like right here?
Yeah, where's 180 at?
That's a very,
180 is south, because remember northeast, southwest, 0 is north. 180 is south, so 220, you could say is like 40 degrees past 180. Okay, or you could say this one's 50, but I'll stick with this one. So we're looking for, I'll just call it the Y, but the north-south component, this will have a south component, not a north, and the east-west component would be like the X component. In this case, it'd be west. Okay, it said the boat was going 40 knots. That's kind of like not miles per hour, but not quite. It's a speed though. But that's basically the magnitude of this vector. It's speed in this case. So, how am I going to find X? How am I going to find Y? Yes, opposite
That's a mess.
over hypotenuse. So relative to this angle, we have opposite over hypotenuse. We're going to use basic SOHCAHTOA. Opposite over hypotenuse is sine. Sine of 40 equals opposite over hypotenuse. Oh, you got a couple 40s in there. Accidentally. So what's sine of 40 times 40?
1.965, I guess. Don't write that down. Like, no, this is my guess. 1.965.
Now this is a 40, so this will be like a,
No, I don't agree.
I'm guessing 18.
5.7.
Oh, way off.
You were way off.
What is it?
25 points.
Okay, technically this would be labeled nautical miles per hour, or no, I guess it'd be knots too. But anyway, it's going that way, so it's going west. Okay, that's the east-west component, and then the y. So relative to 40 degrees, y is the adjacent, and that is the hypotenuse. Cosine of 40 degrees equals adjacent over hypotenuse.
Yeah.
Okay, it's longer than X, so we're gonna do 32.6.
30.6.
Oh, I got the point right.
You were way off.
Okay, well.
You done messed up, sir.
What do you do?
When you slowly made it worse.
What do you do? Nothing. Yeah, what did you do?
You were really close. Like,
That's so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I can give you a present.
I never touched it. Are you telling me if I throw something at worse, I'm not even the calculus? You had to tell me it's true.
Okay, I'm a little concerned about this one.
Pull that economy.
What's wrong with black? What's wrong with black people, huh?
Just ask me a question.
What's wrong with
You're
black
not
people?
scared.
Just a question.
You hate black people? I'm
You
telling you.
gotta learn to respect.
Respect your elders.
Respect.
You 15-year-old.
Look at you. Look how old
Color of
he
your
is.
hair.
Look how old.
The color of you is the color of the board. When all that morning happens. You're so right. Critical line.
Grant, you're playing with
The
fire.
second you step out, you yeah. No, I know you are the
Great.
Mrs. Jordan, do you think we're gonna get any more snow?
No.
Why did I get curious?
Sometimes you get like a little snow that melts immediately the first week of March.
You should calculate the probability.
But next week is supposed to be warm, so it's not happening. All right. So for this one, I recommend you guys do a little drawing.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't have to be a graph, and the drawing doesn't even have to correspond to those numbers at all. But it's a parallelogram. You guys remember it looks kind of like this, right? One important thing is when you put the letters down, they should be in order. So you could go like A, B, C, D, or you could go A, B, C, D. So you could go this way, or you could go this way, but they do need to be in order somehow. So you can't go A, B, C, D. That would be wrong. It does have to be in this order, either clockwise or counterclockwise. Okay, so A is 3, 5, B is 0, -3, C is 5, 0. Find D. All right, do you guys remember how we did this? So this vector right here on parallelograms should match this vector because they're the same length, they're the same direction, it's just completely matched. We could also go this way, by the way. We could go from here to here, matches here to here. So what is this vector from B to A? 3, 8. You guys see how I got that? From 0 to 3, that's going up 3. And from -3 to 5, that's increasing by 8. So vector, I guess it would be vector BA, is 3, 8. So that means this vector over here, actually my picture kind of makes sense, even though I did it randomly. Because if this is right 3, this is up 8, that kind of looks right. So from C to D, this vector should also be 3, 8. Which means the x component should increase by 3, so 5 plus 3. And the y component should increase by 8, 0 plus 8. All right, you guys gonna get that one right?
Yes.
As long as I'll show the video.
It's so funny.
Purple.
No.
Perfect reason for crash out, bro.
Does the test have to be tomorrow?
Yeah. Why? What's wrong with tomorrow?
What a terrible test move.
Is it a hard day tomorrow?
No. It's
The world's gonna explode.
I have a chemistry test Somehow it's been starting with us for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
No,
This idiot.
it's like
I
Run through like.
Alright, this is the one, this is not a, listen, it's been a while since we did this assignment. These are not hard questions, but you probably will have to review them because it's been so long. Okay, the first question is find velocity and speed. Alright, do you guys remember this? It's called a parametric equation. The 2-3 kind of stands for like a stop. It stands for a starting point. And then this is kind of the vector that tells you how it's moving. It goes right 4 down 1 every time t. T kind of is like time. So after like 1 second, it's gone right 4 down 1. After 2 seconds, it's gone twice as far. Anyway, the velocity is just this thing. Okay, so it's kind of like a vector. I don't really, if you put parentheses or don't, I won't really mind, but it's basically that. Okay, the speed is just going to be the magnitude, basically, of this vector. So how far is it actually moving when it goes right 4 down 1? So that would be the magnitude thing that we've been doing. So this one comes out as square root of 17. And there is a second question. Find a pair of parametric equations of the line. Okay, that just means write this as an x equation and a y equation separately. So what's the x value going to be equal to? 2 plus 4t. You guys remember writing that kind of stuff? Okay, and what's the y value going to be equal to? 3 minus 1t or just 3 minus t? Okay, again, all of this stuff, not that hard to do, but since we did it once like 3 weeks ago, yeah, you're probably going to have to review that one. Okay. Yeah, 8, this was the one I was worried about actually. No, it wasn't. Oh yeah, it was, okay, yeah, it was okay. Couldn't remember. It's not, I mean, I'm sure most of you will get this right. I'm afraid some of us will miss it, but it's not super bad. Let's do 0 and negative 4 or something. What's it say? Alright, speaking of, so we did some of this on that worksheet, right? Oh, I'm gonna have to take away your beautiful art here.
No. No. You're not getting rid of Alice's
Your brain
house?
rot.
Yeah, get away. Get rid of
Well, for some reason in my brain, all formulas go right here. That's-
No, the formula should go straight on that house.
We're all gonna die if they don't go there.
If mine has to be erased, then theirs has to be erased.
Okay.
Okay.
So when we're finding the angle between vectors, this was the formula that we used.
No one cares.
Yeah, this will stay on the board. I just realized it won't be on the video. Okay, I'll put it on the video real quick. This is, you guys remember using this on the worksheet? I guess we did the worksheet like last Friday, most of us. So.
That's right.
You're saying he likes
Yeah,
to
let's rotate
He likes to
the
dark.
box.
I just wanted to be spring
What?
Me
Shut up,
too.
Mom.
Okay, so the top of this formula, remember that stands for the dot product, and these absolute value symbols mean magnitude. Okay, here's the problem though. This problem's a little bit different than the one we did on the worksheet because they're not giving us the vectors to start with. Okay, I'm going to make, so it's kind of got an extra step. I'm going to make a little picture. It doesn't really matter what exactly, how accurate the picture is. I'm just kind of drawing stuff out here. Okay, these are points on a graph, but they are not vectors. So we're gonna have to find vector u and vector v, or whatever we wanna call them by ourselves, before we can try and use this formula to get the angle. So this might be the toughest one on the test, I'm guessing. So, vector BA, we're going from -4 to 3, that's an increase of 7. You could do 3 minus -4 if you want to. The y component, we're going from 5 to -2. So it's going down 7. And then this other vector, -4 to 0, that's increasing by 4. And 5 to -4, that's decreasing by 9. Okay, we didn't have to do that part on the worksheet. But this is the part that we did do on the worksheet. So the dot product, I wish I hadn't made those numbers so big. So 7 times 4 plus -7 times -9. That'll be the top. Magnitude, this means the length. 7 squared plus 7 squared, square root of that. Okay, it'll be square root of 98. We don't really need to, even though that might simplify, it does simplify, but we don't really need to. Just gonna leave it like that. V would be 4 squared plus 9 squared, 16 plus 81. That'd be 96. Okay, so if cosine of theta equals this, how do I find theta? Yeah, actually, I would probably simplify the top two. It's 28 plus 63. 91, I think. So yeah, we would need to do cosine inverse of that.
I don't know if we're gonna do this. Oh. Okay, it's cosine.
It's gonna be massive.
We're gonna do 2.35.
We're talking about an angle. That would be a very tiny angle.
87 degrees. 87.7 degrees.
What's your favorite number? No.
Okay, that could be, yeah. Now, my picture's not very accurate. I totally made this, like, these numbers do not correspond to their spacing at all. So, you can't really tell by the picture. Unless you draw a really neat picture, that's actually on graph paper or something like that. You might be able to tell if it's about right. Okay. We're getting close. We're getting there.
Nobody knows your name.
That would be cool if it was still.
I am math.
I say hi.
You're still math.
John Math. John Jones.
That's not nice.
That's not nice.
It's not John Math.
That's not nice.
No.
Samantha math.
That's not nice.
What is this?
Hope.
He's not.
Hope is
He's not looking.
too.
My wife. Algebra.
This is so cute.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm John Math. This is my wife.
Sarah.
This is my wife, trigonometry.
Miss Perrell.
It only works if we do it.
Okay, number 9, this will be like 2 separate problems, but it's got 2 formulas and you have to have these memorized. And hopefully you kind of already do because we've done this a lot. How do we find the length between 2 points? Distance formula. Now, we are in 3D land. So what will the formula be?
X minus x squared plus y minus y squared plus z minus z squared
Right.
over square root.
No. That, you should have stopped right there. Oh, you mean the square root's on the top. Yeah, okay. You said over square root.
Okay, under square root.
Yeah, so why don't you all try that? Go ahead. And actually, before you do that, let's get the formula for B up here. What was the midpoint formula?
X plus x over 2, y plus y over 2, z plus z over 2.
Yeah, that's right.
You're so smart.
I know.
You guys already had that in your brain, right? Before Issa said it.
Hope
Yeah.
didn't.
Forrest, did your brain skip best?
Do I what?
Well, in previous tests, I've had you, like this year and last year, I've had you guys memorize those 2 formulas. But not in 3 dimensions, but it's almost the same thing.
So you should give it to us on the test.
No.
Because we worked so hard to memorize it in the past.
Wow. We're so nice.
Exactly.
So that's would make it easy on the test then.
I'm being assaulted.
Grant, you have to control
Grant,
yourself.
it's not even a fraction of what you used to do to me, bro.
Mm.
I still remember.
Shall we bring it?
Yeah.
Forrest is like. Forrest, that was your fault.
How was that my fault?
It was out there.
Grant, I feel like in the future you're gonna have a lot of meetings with HR.
I would never.
Dude, Chris cannot have a 95.
Broken fire.
That would be chaos.
An office job. If I
You're
was-
gonna have to go to a lot of meetings about appropriate touch.
If I was like a customer support agent, I'd be like the #1 salesman. Whatever.
Sure, man.
I'd be like, what is the service? And he's like, yes.
I'm still trying.
Customer.
Grant, never cook again.
Okay.
Never cook.
I'm not cooking. I make customer service.
You're not cooking, but you're burning one.
Alright, you guys get them both?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I guess I have to do it.
So we're talking about.
I hate you.
I love it.
I
Yes,
don't
you
love
just
you.
did it without a calculator. Let's see if I fail.
I love you too.
Anita, really, you would
What
not
did you not do?
Oh!
I
What did you
did
do?
both without a calculator.
It's because the guy's so muscular, so veiny.
video.
I got 110. Is that what you guys got?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
You did. She got squared over 21. She
Could
did
keep
11.
writing it. Giving him. I mean, kids.
Did you put minus negative on this one?
What was it?
What I actually did is I multiplied it to 6.
Give it back, Eli.
Okay,
It's not yours, Ian.
and on this one, okay.
You do it.
So this is like 9 and 10, right?
Well, it's only, on the test, it's only like number 9, but it does count as 2 separate problems. Like grade wise. That happens a lot on these tests. You know how we always have like A, B's, and C's? So this looks like 1/2, -1, 1/2. Do you guys concur?
Yeah.
Oh,
You guys act like I said something.
Alright, we've got 2 left. You guys ready?
Yeah, they are.
Maybe we can like.
No, look. You're more cool to them, more warm, I think.
I think he was like thinking about
What does that mean? I want to be warmed up.
I said more, I didn't say you're not warm. I think you're warm.
The noise.
Eli's eyes went wide.
Okay, Maddie, I'll be waiting.
He was terrified.
I just put it on like. I give
I mean, his mom was like,
It's been such a long time since we did this. The equation of a circle, I don't know if you guys remember this, looks... Okay. Shh, hush, hush, hush. So, if the center of the circle or sphere, I guess in this case, is right, or technically it's 2 in the x direction, how do I make something move 2 in the x direction?
That's a great question.
Minus 2. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
The equation of a circle looks something like this, like x minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals like 9. Since this is a sphere, it's 3-dimensional, it'll have the z component with it, so maybe like z minus 1 squared equals 9. I almost did the right answer when I wrote that. So, your x component, you just do the opposite, so it's x minus 2. And this moves backwards 3 in the y direction, that would be y plus 3. And this one, it's a 4, so guess what I should have put right here? Z minus 4. So you just do the opposite. Now, what goes at the end here is the radius squared. Goes over here. Okay, so in this case the radius was 3, so 3 squared goes right here. I kind of accidentally put the answer down when I wrote this example, but I guess I just use the same numbers over and over.
That's stuff to be doing.
I feel like on every ACT they do like to put like one circle question in there. So, yeah, that would not include the Z. Before you guys do take your ACT this year, I do want to go over circles at least a little bit. Okay, the last question. You guys remember those pretty sketches you did with the triangles? Okay, what we did was we found, okay, let me do my little sketch first. Which one was the x-axis?
That one.
Coming at us, yeah. Which one was the y? Going to the right, and then the z was up. And remember there is like a negative z, a negative y, a negative x is going backwards like that. What we did was we found the intercepts for this. So the z, let's say it's the z or the x-axis right here. This point would be 3, 0, 0. So anything on the x-axis would have a 0 and a 0 for the y and z coordinates. So to find the x-intercept, we just make the y and the y and the z 0. You guys remember that? So what would the x-intercept be? 4. 3x equals 12. So it's just 4. So, or you could say it's 4, 0, 0. Okay, and then same thing for the y. The y-intercept happens when x and z are 0. So we get negative 4y equals 12, negative 3, so 0, negative 3, 0, and then 6.
5. You didn't even write it. Yeah, 3, 5.
All right. And then we graph those points, so 4, 0, 0 would be here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, negative 3, 0. Where would 0, negative 3, 0 be?
Left.
Yeah, there. I didn't draw the negative axis, but yeah. 1, 2, 3. And then 0, 0, 6. 1, 2, 3. Let me shrink these down a little bit. It'll be up here. And then we used our pencil and we like shaded, connected the dots and shaded. You can't really draw a plane because they're infinite. But you can draw a section, a portion of the plane.